Welcome to Soul Elevation, guiding your ascension to new heights. I'm your host, Kara Goodwin. I'm so excited to be here with you on Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. It's amazing to think that we are on the brink of a new year and finishing 2025. I don't know how it's felt for you, but in some ways it started as the longest year I've ever experienced. I've been reflecting on this with some friends, and I remember saying things like, okay, it's January 62nd. It just seemed like January and February were nonstop, not nonstop. It was very slow. And then the last few months have just felt like they've happened all at once. So, very strange year, and I'm excited about what's to come in 2026. And one thing that I hope will be more a part of our um, next couple of years. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. Um, is your empowerment. I hope that more and more people will step into the fullness of who they really are and open themselves up to that connection that they have with their own higher self and with the full embodiment of their spirit. And this is where I want you to be mindful of something that we talk about in society in terms of a virtue that you might want to think about in terms of embodying this particular virtue. And what I'm talking about in particular is the virtue of humility, because we do kind of idolize humility, and humility to some extent, it serves a purpose in terms of we don't want to become overly boastful or prideful, but humility can really be very disempowering. And I feel that it is more accurate that a lot of seekers are placating the authorities with this virtue by embodying this virtue of humility. But the way that it expresses itself is this tamping down who we really are. It's this muffling who we are. It's the handing over of our authority to say, oh, well, I must not know. I don't know. And I'm meaningless. Everybody else is above me. And I think that it's time to evolve out of that. There really is no place for humility if it's going to keep you from embodying and expressing the true divinity that you are. And so if you're going to pretend that you're nothing, that you're worthless, that you're meaningless, and that everybody is more important than you, then you're not really fulfilling who you are and why you're here. Because in this creation, in this earth experience, in this human experience, we all play a role. We all have our gifts. We all have our talents. We all have the essence of who we are. And it's when you put us all together and we're really fully embodying the truth of who we are that we really reach our human maximum potential. And so again, I'm not going all the way. I'm not suggesting that you think that you're better than everybody, that you become boastful, that you become prideful, and that you think everybody is worse than you. So we don't want to go so far in the other direction that we think we're superior than everybody. But it's really through that willingness to understand that we are divine. Every one of us is housing divinity, has the potential to house divinity within them, that we reach our individual potential, and then you put us all together and everybody is reaching their potential. And then as a species, we go places we never could have been before. And it really takes us owning the truth of who we are. And so the way that I see this is like I said, it's the embodiment of the divinity. And that means that we are allowing spirit, we're allowing higher consciousness, we're allowing the totality of our soul to dwell in our human temple, meaning our human physical body, this human expression that we are. That instead of just the solitary ego being what's running the show, that we are allowing spirit to be connected with us and to flow through us and to express through us. And that means that we are allowing divinity to move through us. And this is a constant dynamic process. It's not that we one time connect to our soul, connect to our higher self, and then it's within us and it's stored in us, and then we're, expressing ourselves that way. It is a continuous flow. It's like an open river, an open stream that is connected above us into spirit, and it's connected to the earth below us. And it is a constantly moving stream. And it allows us to have the wisdom of the present moment accessible, because we are living in the present moment and we're living in that current. And we are connecting to this continuously renewing spirit that we are. And through that, we're moving through our lives, we're expressing ourselves. It's ever new. And what I love about this, I was just listening to somebody talking about powerful versus power filled. And, if I remember correctly, the differentiation between the two, I may have these flip flopped, but powerful is that you are full of power. And that would be more of like an egoic, holding on to power, trying to hold on to power, trying to keep it for ourselves. Whereas power filled is expressing more of that continuous renewal, where power, divine power, is flowing through us. It is filling us moment to moment, and we are sharing it, and it is radiating through us. But we're not trying to clutch anything. We're not trying to hoard anything. We're not trying to say, this is mine and it's not yours. It is being a vessel of divinity, being a vessel of spirit, being a vessel of pure source, and letting that just flow through us, letting that have access to us. And then everything that we connect with, everything um, that we, every way that we express ourselves is from that point of reference. It is through that. So if you think of, there are lots of different ways to think about it, to express it. You can even think about this. I mentioned a couple of lives ago about a book that I'm reading, or that I've finished reading it now, and I highly recommend this book. And what is it called? It is Money is a Verb. And she talks about, toward the end of this, connecting with the spirit of money, connecting with the spirit of money. And it's the same conversation, where instead of trying to hoard or trying to clutch or trying to make money this thing that we have, and once we have it, we don't let go of it, but rather connecting with the spirit, the renewal, the current and currency, but connecting with that spirit, not to hold it, but to let it flow through us. And who doesn't want to have that type of relationship with anyone? That's such an attractive way to work with the spirit of money, where it's this, let's partner and move through me, and let me bless you as you move through me, and let me be blessed as you move through me. And so it's not this clutching it tightly, getting it and holding on to it and letting it go stale, but rather this allowing it to come through, allowing it to move, allowing it to have expression and fluidity. So we can think about this open channel, this expression of energy, of divinity, of source, in so many different ways, whether we think of it as an empowerment and this allowing that divine power to move through us and to express through us and to let us have access to anything we need in the present moment, just knowing that we're in relationship with it. We are a part of it, and it is a part of us, and it's going to bring through what will help maximize this moment, whether that's wisdom, whether it's resources, whether it's relationship, whether it's whatever it is. But knowing that through that open vessel where we're just in a yes, and we're allowing that to move through us, or whether we think of it as, that divine power, whether we think of it as the spirit of money, the spirit of friendship, the spirit of creativity, or whatever it might be, we allow ourselves to be that open vessel and allow it to be moving through us. And so it really takes this willingness to experience the fullness and to hold the fullness and to express it through us. And when we think about things in terms of humility, that can be something that closes us up and that says, "Oh, not me. I'm not worthy. I'm going to be small, and I'm going to hold myself back and every give my power away." And it doesn't, you can't have both of those things. You have to have that willingness to be the fullness. So really feel into that, being the fullness of the totality of divinity that you are. And so I encourage you to think about humility. And once again, it's not talking about being overly boastful, being egotistical and hoarding and being superior, but it is about claiming the truth of who you really are and not falling into well, I'm just going to stand here and hope I fade into the background because I'm not worthy. You are worthy, and you have a responsibility. You're here. Be who you are. Be the fullness of who you are, and really reach for the full potential and expression of everything that you're here to be. So thank you so much for being here. Bless you as we close out these last couple of days of the year. I hope you finish strong and rested. And I'm wishing a beautiful and magical 2026. I'll see you next time.